Numerous catastrophes have hit Nettleton High School in its proud history. The tornado of 1968, the flood of 2016. Added to that awful list is a near tragedy that almost destroyed the school back in the mid-1980s. It's now known as the Phantom Inferno of '85, and it was all caused by one student, Nettleton TV teacher, Craig Miller.
It happened during my freshman year in high school. I always have been very interested in magic tricks. And whenever I was about that age, I discovered a store in town called the Golden Grotto. I would go in the Golden Grotto and I would look around at the novelties and little magic tricks. And one thing that I discovered in there was this item called flash paper. Flash paper was a little booklet of white pages that were chemically treated, and just saturated with this chemical, so that whenever you lit the little pages on fire, they turned into a fireball and just burned up, and then just like that they were gone. It was an old magician's trick, a little misdirection trick. They would throw a fireball and get the audience attention over there, I guess, or heck, just throw a fireball for the sake of throwing a fireball. I don't know. Jerry the King Lawler, my favorite wrestler when I was a little boy, used to use flash paper. If he ever got in a bad way in a match, he would reach down into his wrestling tights, and next thing you know, he would pull out a ball of flame and he would throw it at his opponent, and of course it would singe them, and the match was over, and they'd call the ambulance. They'd spend some time in the hospital. I learned later that Jerry Lawler was actually using crumpled up pieces of flash paper. He would light that, and that was the fireball. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world, flash paper. One day in English class, I was sitting down, a little skinny freshman sitting in class, and Miss Rothy was our teacher. And she had her back to us. She was writing on the chalkboard. And I had a packet of flash paper. I had a little booklet of flash paper on my desk. And what I was doing while she was up there teaching, I was just ripping off little pages, and with a cigarette lighter that I had clandestinely brought into the school, I was lighting and just throwing little pieces of fire out into the aisle whenever I could, just a little something to help me make it through the class. Unfortunately, on this day, I went to light one of my little pieces, and the flame caught the whole booklet on fire. Now, there was probably about 25 pages of flash paper in a flash paper booklet. One of the little pages, little 3x3 pages, would create a fireball probably about that big. 25 of them at one time, enormous fireball. And so I had myself a situation. On my desk, right in front of me, was a big, orange, glowing, growing ball of fire. And just out of self-preservation, I took the back of my hand, and I swatted that fireball. Whenever I did, it hit my buddy John Moore. He was sitting in front of me. It hit him right in the middle of his back, and then it bounced out into the aisle. I was sitting like in the middle of the classroom. And so all of a sudden, by this time, it's fully involved. 25 pages of flash paper, a huge inferno right there in the middle of our classroom. It was like if our desks were the planets, this thing would be like the sun of our solar system, right? I mean, it is a huge ball of flame. It's lighting up the whole room. It's making a noise. And thankfully, it went out pretty quickly. Miss Rothy up at the blackboard, thankfully she did not see it, but she caught the reflection of it. And she turns around and she says, "Craig Miller! How did you know it was me?" I guess my reputation had preceded me in this case, but I was not in trouble. There was no proof I had done it. All the evidence burned up in the flash paper. So I did not get in trouble, but I did get hollered at. And that was a time when almost burned down Nettleton School. You look at Nettleton School today, it's big, beautiful, sprawling campus, buildings everywhere. But on that day in 1985, it almost got burned to a crisp thanks to me and my flash paper.